Uh-oh, I'm not. This is your video that's getting messed up. Mine's
Just so
fine.
professional.
I'm good now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Fast Charging with BnB, the best podcast on the internets. I'm Brian.
And I'm Bear.
Yeah, he's Bear. He's barely there. He barely got live in time for the big show. How is everybody? How are you doing? Welcome back.
Well, welcome back to you too, Brian, but I was here. You just started early.
Yeah, well, last week I started late because I didn't know it was go time, and so I made up for last week's slightly cut off intro with this week's much longer one.
Yeah, of you just staring there making faces.
Yeah, well, I was trying to match my thumbnail, which is good stuff.
Did you make a face on your thumbnail again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it on
And
purpose?
so did you.
Oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it was one of those, huh? Okay. I'll have to look at that later.
I gotta fix the echo.
What'd you break?
Oh, I have a delay set up, 200 milliseconds for when I'm using my other camera, because my capture card's a little slow. That makes an echo. We're good.
Echo? We're good? Like that?
No, it makes it sound like you've got an expander on your voice.
Oh, well, I do.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that Tesla megapacks are about to replace Hawaii's last remaining coal plant?
I heard a rumor about that, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. They're super expensive to deploy, but vastly cheaper than importing ship after ship of coal.
Well, I can definitely see where there's a cost savings because I don't think they're mining coal in Hawaii. The interesting part is that this is more of a peaker plant type of situation, and I just find it a little unusual because they're using it to be powered by solar or wind if they have any. It didn't mention wind, but they have a lot of wind there. But they're only talking about using it like when the need comes up. It just seems to me like it would be something that they could probably use almost all the time. Why not use the battery storage in off-peak times? You know, if it's solar for nighttime, go ahead and turn that sucker on. Just a thought, but maybe that was just left out of the article. But I think that's still pretty cool, getting rid of that and not having a need for it ever again.
Yeah, and you know they have to import almost all their power, so they're trying to get the renewables up to 100% by 2045. So a lot of times this will be charged up by diesel or natural gas or whatever it is that they have in terms of fossil fuel, but it's still better to leave those running as baseload and not as peakers. And that's really what these batteries are designed to do so far, is replace the peaking plants.
Yeah. So what percentage are they at for their renewables? Do you know?
I do not know.
Well, that sounds like a task for someone in the comments to look up.
It do.
With all of my 11 viewers, I'm sure one of them will do that for us.
I got 17.
Ooh, you're killing it, man. Killing it.
Speaking of batteries.
I just went down to 8. Yeah, speaking of batteries.
Why LFP batteries are poised to bring down entry-level EV prices. Do you know much about this?
I know a little bit about it. I know that the what do you call those things? The patents on them are expiring, so that anybody can get in on them shortly, without having to pay whoever owns them a bunch of money, and that will obviously reduce the cost. So I think that's interesting. I know that LFP batteries are they definitely have a good place in the market, especially if you go through this article. Talks about cheaper and less expensive vehicles would be a great place for the LFP batteries, and I think that's a fantastic idea. It's sort of almost like the premium to the unleaded,
Yeah, and lithium iron phosphate doesn't have the same density as lithium ion, but it also doesn't use as exotic of materials. They're cheaper batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was China was allowed to make LFP batteries outside of the patent on the condition that they not export them. So they've been refining and developing the technology for a decade, and now it's available to everyone, more or less. I mean, obviously they've got enhanced patents, but 17% of EVs sold last year were already LFP, many of them Teslas.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I find that interesting, that agreement that they had. China said to somebody, the patent holders, well, we're either going to take it and steal it, or you're just going to let us do this legally. So if we steal it,
And
we're going
can
to
you
sell.
imagine what it would be like to try and litigate that in China?
Oh, yeah. They'll be like, oh, you lost. Go away,
Yeah.
patent holders.
And I think the idea was that they were making enough money off the patents in other markets, and that they knew it would advance the technology. So why not?
Another one of those things that seems a little fishy behind the scenes. I missed that part of the article where it was, well, we're going to do it this way with your permission, or we're going to do it this way without your permission. What do you prefer? Because if they did it without the permission, they would have been flooding the market with LFP batteries that they're not getting their percentage off of.
Right.
So they said,
Right.
okay.
And if we just strike a friendly agreement, we can limit it to a market in which we're not really selling them anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, but like you said, speaking of batteries, what else is going on in the battery world?
CATL unveils new Qilin EV battery with incredible specs.
That's pronounced Qilin.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, with that high pitched voice and everything. It's Qilin. Yeah, just like that.
Yes, I think that's right. Now, normally when I hear about these unveilings of miracle batteries, I don't give them a second thought, but CATL is for real. And when they say they've unveiled it, this is legit.
Yeah.
They should be able to actually make these and get them into use.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. You've heard me say many, many times that my biggest thing on the EVs is the range. The range is all important to me, not to others, including like Elon Musk and other people have said, who needs a battery that's going to go 500, 600, 700 miles? Well, there's a lot of people that do, because there is not there's no solution to the charging station dilemma right now. It's just go to the next one.
And I think that's especially true in China, where I would say the majority of Chinese citizens don't own a single family house, but an apartment condo kind of situation,
Mm-hmm.
where charging can be difficult. And if you only have to charge up every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Expected to begin mass production in 2023.
well, I like it when they put themselves on that short timeline, because they get no room to backpedal. So
Right. And it also tells you that this isn't a concept. This is established technology. We just have to build the factory.
mm-hmm. Yes.
This might even be what they're building next to Giga Shanghai on the coast there. We don't know.
Ooh, way to start a rumor.
By saying we don't know, which means it'll be, I'm sure tomorrow, if any of those guys watch this,
Yeah.
it would be verifiable news.
Well, I don't think any one of those are my 10 viewers. So
So what do you do about the charger crunch?
not this. So GM's got a new patent showing a way to charge 2 EVs from a single fast charger. I don't know what they consider a fast charger either, by the way. Is it a DC charger? But this
It would have to be.
they're talking about daisy chaining this from one vehicle to another. And besides, you're in your house, I can't see where this is, or like maybe in a bus schoolyard or a bus yard where for schools, or fleets that are sleeping at night, where you can. It's basically a daisy chain. You hook up one, and then you can connect it to another one. So you're using one charger for 2 vehicles, and then they go from 800 to 400, or vice versa, in order to charge 2 vehicles at once. I'm not sure I really see a great big benefit from that, except for if it was available in the home, because you can have and you don't want to install a second charger. But this is also saying fast chargers, and a fast charger is not going to be found in the home. You're going to find a slow level 2 at 12, 13 kilowatts at most.
So I have a theory on how it could help.
How?
At the beginning and end, when your charge rate is limited, when the juice they're giving you is limited, so the middle of the curve would be cut in half, but the beginnings and ends wouldn't be.
Okay.
So it would be quicker to charge 2 cars this way than 2 cars sequentially.
Yeah. Well, the idea is, I guess, you're saving on a charging station.
That is the number one idea. I am confident.
But it's not that expensive to get this thing going. And how does it work when? I mean, it's obviously it can't be at a charging station out in the wild, because you can't be like, oh well, let's go bring both our vehicles there and charge one and daisy chain the other one. And when the first guy's done, he's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, but I'm hooked into you. I mean, so both vehicles have to stay there. So it can't be for a mall type of situation. It has to be an overnight charging situation.
And you have to know each other, because you're not touching my car.
Right. You have to know each other. So for fleet operations or for a home, but I'll tell you what.
But they wouldn't have. I mean, maybe for fleets, but if you're going to add this hardware to 1 million cars so that 10,000 people can use it, I think it would just be cheaper to build the stations.
I agree, 100%. So I don't know if they're just trying to learn things and create things that maybe they can use in the future in some other way, but I don't look at this as a good waste of time at all.
Well, then let's move on.
I know. I'm saying making fun of the article is fun enough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
and
this was Mary's idea.
Not all ideas are going to work out.
Oh my God! How long before Mary says to President Biden, "Well, we're the first one to create a vehicle that can charge another vehicle while being charged. We created the splitter, the EV splitter, which no one will ever use, but we're very proud of that."
Any other good GM news?
Yeah, and maybe GM should be a little bit more prouder of the Lyriq, the 2023 Cadillac Lyriq, which is...
So we've been giving this a hard time because we've only seen renders and not the actual car. This morning, there was an event in, I don't know, somewhere, Colorado. Where is that? And it looks fine.
Let's just go with Detroit. It says Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, but who knows?
Park City, Utah.
There we go. Yeah, it looked like the West. Yeah, it looks better than I feared it would. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's inspiring exactly.
Yeah, well,
no?
the color of the car in this picture is not inspiring, but it's also the picture. In real life, that paint job could be sparkling. The color's not exciting. The dashboard in this picture is confusing as hell. That looks like a piano keyboard. So I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I mean, what is that? Is that... Do you see that picture?
Yeah. I assume it's that they're trying to do something to be different. And doesn't always work. I don't know, man. I don't know. That screen looks expensive to replace.
Well, yeah, but you probably shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to replace your screen. The Cadillac Escalade also has a rounded screen like that also. So does the Lucid.
I'm looking forward to the day we get to see an Ultium platform teardown.
Yeah. Wow.
I hope that's the thing that happens.
I can't imagine Sandy Munro going like, this was a good idea. I could just see him tearing that apart.
Don't know. So it says safety and driver assistance features, but what it doesn't say is that I'm sure they all cost extra. So it's got the adaptive cruise control and the super cruise. We know that's not free. Collision alert, be better. blind spot alert, Yeah. I don't know, man. It looks fine, and the price isn't unreasonable.
Yeah, I think it may have more success than some other things out there. I'd rather sit in that than sit in a Bolt or a Leaf. I mean, I think that's
For
obvious.
sure.
Um,
But it's twice the price.
Twice the price. Well, what's twice the price of this? Oh no, what's 6 times the price of this?
Report. Cadillac Celestique could cost over 300 large.
When you say the name of that car, I just get chills down my spine.
So does Mary.
Yeah, and I think you should be wearing a beret when you say it also.
So that's a render.
Yeah.
They're not saying anything official yet, but Wall Street Journal spoke with people familiar with the matter who said it'll be around 300,000 and have options that could push the price well beyond. Oof. Okay. Yeah,
It's going to be one of those cars that you can get options that cost more than a regular car out there.
Yeah. Hand built. Well, there's your first problem. So that means you're going to make 100? I'm guessing.
I'm not
EV
sure.
roof will be made of suspended particle device smart glass, divided into quadrants so each occupant can tint their own corner.
You know the sun doesn't just shine straight down, right?
No.
It
doesn't.
Comes from here, comes from here.
Yeah. And I'm sure those will never break.
I've already broken my roof once on
You
my
didn't
Model
break
Y.
it.
Well, it broke.
God
Yeah.
broke it. That was God's wind.
It was a twister.
That you wouldn't have believed if you hadn't seen it yourself.
Right.
So yeah, Wall Street Journal, great reporting in there. But there are worse reports out there.
There are, and here it is. Here is our BS article of the week.
From the Bloomberglers themselves.
Yeah, they are good at this. So I read this article. I got linked to it, I think, on the Twitter, and I was just like jaw-dropping stupidity coming out of Bloomberg. So Hyundai quietly climbs the EV sales charts, and Elon Musk notices. I'm not sure what makes them think Elon Musk noticed, but this article just basically is. It seems like it's a promoted piece, like maybe Kia or Hyundai paid them to actually put this out. It talks about how Hyundai is catching up and surpassing everyone in EV sales. And then they put this really awesome graph about vehicles sold in the U.S. Did you notice this graph, and did you notice something was missing from it?
So I have hit the paywall.
Oh,
So I'm looking at this in reader mode. So for me, the graph is just an endless string of random numbers.
okay. Do you see where they have the types of cars that are listed?
No.
Okay. So in just a few months, Hyundai and Kia's new models zoom past other EVs in the market. But what they fail to mention is how many. The graph doesn't show Tesla. It shows the Mach-E, the Nissan Leaf, the Chevy Bolt, which hasn't even been sold for about like 1 month this year. ID4 in the Volvo XC40. That just flows also. That's another one that just flows right out of my mouth. Recharge is the name of that thing. It doesn't mention Tesla's sales for the first couple of months at all. Because what has Tesla sold in the last, well, let's say May. May, they're pretty proud that Kia EV6, they've sold 2.1, 2,100. And the Hyundai Ioniq, a massive 1.9. So that's 4,000 cars put together. What do you think? You know, you're the Tesla guy. You know the numbers. How many cars did they sell in May in the U.S.?
In the U.S., probably, well, let's say it's just Fremont. Realistically, 2,000 a day.
Wait a minute,
A day.
So you're telling me that
So
this
like 60,000.
that they've sold the same amount of cars in a day that they sold in the entire month.
Correct.
And this article is titled "Why I Make Clickbait for Bloomberg." Hyundai quietly climbs the EV sales charts and Elon Musk notices. I don't think he's noticed or cared. I think I've only heard him say in the past that he wants this to happen. But at the same time, this is a Sam Alexander story. He needs to get his hands on this and do a 15-minute video on this. He would tear this apart. This is ridiculous nonsense.
It's really bad. It's really bad. So Lockbert, thank you for the super chat, said, from Mary Barra Q&A, I am open to a fast charging appearance, but as you know, one of them is a bit rough around the edges, which gives me pause. There was this week on Now You Know with Zach and Jesse, they really ripped into the Rivian, which they own one of, because the charging network is it's not super compatible with all cars, and it's just not good outside of Tesla-dom.
So, the Rivian doesn't charge on Electrify America?
So they went to an EV Go station, and apparently they'd been having problems getting them to sync up for the past 2 weeks since the last over-the-air update. It's a known issue that they're working on. And when they finally got it to connect, it was running really slow. And the first EV Go station they went to, they spent 45 minutes and couldn't get any of the chargers to work for them.
Okay, but that's EV Go. It's not Electrify America?
No. So whose fault is it? Does it matter? One thing we didn't put on our list to discuss is, did you know that Tesla Model 3 last year, in 21, hit the top 10 best-selling global cars in the world?
Nice.
Total cars.
That's pretty good. And did you hear also, I think it was in the last week, that they're the #1 made in America car?
The 3 is, and the Y take the top 2 spots.
And then the S and the X are like 4 and 5 or something.
Right.
They're
right
right there also.
Because all the pieces are made in-house and the batteries come from Nevada. The S and X are still getting, I believe, Panasonic cells from Japan, and that's why they're so far down the list.
Which are really not that far.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. And another thing that didn't make the cut, because we kind of ran out of time, did you hear about today's Hyundai Dieselgate scandal?
No.
Hyundai got caught up in it, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, just
Same
that they
thing?
got caught
Same thing?
cheating on their emissions. Yeah.
Oh.
Their offices were raided in, I think, 8 different locations.
What has
Pretty
the world
wild.
come to? We're raiding car manufacturers because they're scamming us.
Big companies lying for profit. Now I've heard everything.
Yeah. Well, that's almost as
Speaking of
silly as
Hyundai.
this article. Yeah. Speaking of Hyundai, what else has Hyundai got?
Teasing the Ioniq 6 electric sedan before its debut this week with some super zoomed in shots.
Yeah.
Is it a robot? Is it an airplane? There's just no way of knowing.
You know what? Well, there will be in a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
What the hell? This is the second time this happened. I clicked on the picture in the article, and I get an ad for interior bulbs for. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, I didn't click on the ones from the article
Don't.
because we've got pictures on the next tab.
Yeah, we do. I still think these are all renders.
They do look like renders. To me, you know what it looks like? It looks like I ordered my Taycan on Wish.
Well, the side view looks a lot like the Mercedes
EQS.
EV, the EQS. In a way, it's got that almost too streamlined banana look. I don't know. I'd have to see it in person. It's semi not exciting, but then again, maybe in real life it could be with the right color paint.
Well, the nice thing about the picture from number 2 there is I think they took that in my studio.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, I see that. They probably bought the same thing off of Amazon to cover their back wall.
So MD Hofsty has a quick correction for us. Tesla is selling about 1,500 vehicles out of Fremont per day this quarter. He says this quarter. I assume he means per day, because I'm pretty sure it's over 1,500 for the quarter. But
Okay. Well,
but still, so 2 days they've still got more production than the entire month from
right.
from the people that Tesla's losing sleep over. It's very difficult to compare a company building compliance cars to a company building cars for their very survival.
Yeah. And trust me, they're not building enough of these cars. They don't have that many on back order. I've got my experience on ordering these cars. The Hyundai Ioniq, if you want to get one, if you search long enough, you could probably find one within about a month, is how long that's taken me. Now, the Kia EV6, if you can't find one that hasn't been bought already, you're probably still looking at about 6 to 8 months. But I don't think over the next 6 to 8 months that Kia is going to sell the same amount of, like, let's say the Model Y, which has a year-long wait right now. So
Right.
I definitely think there's a difference in demand.
What I hope is going on, because I don't understand why they keep coming out with model after model after model when they're not really selling the first ones. What I hope is going on is that each one they make gets cheaper to build so that they can actually get profitable.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that if you order a EV6 today, it's going to cost more than what it's listed at right now. Because I'm sure the 2023 price point is going to go up.
Right. I'm not worried about the consumer price. I need the manufacturers to be profitable so that they are heavily motivated to make more of them.
Or lose less money on them.
That'd be a step in the right direction.
Yes, yes. So, speaking of steps in the right direction, VW. They've got their
open. Yeah.
Go ahead, you got it.
Their ID4 assembly plant in the U.S. is open and running.
And where is that plant at?
I don't know. Someone tell us in the comments.
I thought it was South Carolina, but I think I'm
It's
just making that up.
It's gotta be.
I'm probably some bad drugs that I took made me think of South Carolina.
I like this. I like the approach of, what Tesla does, where they make a car, make it well, and make a cajillion. Making the ID4 on more than one continent, great, do it. People enjoy that car, make a ton, get it dialed in. Yeah.
Well, that is
any
good.
Other VW news?
Yeah, well, that was the good. Do we have any bad?
Volkswagen can beat weakening Tesla by 2025, says Herbert D's nuts to CEO to the workers. Can it? Weakening? Really? Herbert? Really?
Weakening because they're trying to ramp up production at the new factories? How does it
that sounds like something VW is doing themselves, trying to ramp production.
Oh, they must be
they've
weakening.
Got a factory in the U.S. that just started making ID4s. Why aren't they at 10,000 a day?
Maybe they're weakening.
I would argue that they are. So
Well,
that's just...
Wait a minute. Wasn't it Volkswagen just a few short months ago that said, "Come on, Elon, come talk to our guys, cheer them up because they need some motivation."
Yes, but that was to the managers and vice presidents and department heads. This is to the workers.
So one thing to the upper echelon, another thing.
Oh, yeah.
So he's telling all the workers, "Everything's fine here, nothing to see, we're doing great."
Yeah. You always serve different meals in first class, baby.
Yeah, but what they're serving in first class here is, we got to get our shit together because this isn't good.
Right.
But that was pretty much a public thing, so everybody knows that he's full of it.
Yeah. So Chattanooga, Tennessee is where the VW plant is. Thank you for that, Matt.
He's hired.
He's hired.
He could be your moderator.
Yeah. Whoopsie doodle. Don't do that. So let's see. Any news out of the good old folks from Toyota?
Yeah,
2023. BuzzFork's charging speed plummets when the temperature drops.
Drops below what? I'm just a little curious.
I think it was pretty good. I think they said -4 Celsius. Oh.
Okay. That's pretty cold. I thought those black things over the front wheels were some sort of heating pad, but apparently not.
Yeah. The charging speed on it was bad. It was bad. Oh no, I'm sorry. Ambient temperature 64 Fahrenheit.
Ooh, you better get that thing a blanket.
Let's see what I got here. Well, it's 70 in here, so I'm okay.
Okay. Well, here, let's see if I got something. Oh yeah, I got something with the temperature on it. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I need another second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn it. Oh, here's another one. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wonder what I would charge at right now.
Uh-huh. So it started, this was on a 150 kilowatt charger. And it started at 62 kilowatt, ramped to 65, and then at 33% plummeted. So in 20 minutes, it got from 5% to 40%, adding 80 miles of range. Took 64 minutes to get to 80%. Ugh.
So when you charge a battery, isn't it supposed to heat up the battery?
Yes.
So
Yes.
couldn't they use that heat that it generates to keep it at temperature?
Science has yet to crack this great mystery. Maybe our grandchildren will come to understand.
No, I just figured it out. Now, I just got the idea. Now, someone do it. And please let me know what I get for that.
But, the car's getting good reviews, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Look at that beauty. Oh, my God. Look at that last picture of the rear end of that and that taillight.
Oh, that's something.
Oh, that... Okay. Well, that is quite the taillight. So, yeah, the reviews. Let's talk about the reviews. Sorry, I get distracted very easily. I'm like a little puppy.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was the review of this?
Mediocre at best, which is par for the course with The Verge. I only linked The Verge because it wasn't the editor, who is Andrew's just not a fan of Tesla, and it colors his coverage. But this is by Abigail Bassett. And she said it was okay. It was not great. It was not bad. And, 50 grand, it's not really worth it. We haven't even mentioned the recall yet. Yeah. Range is good enough. They're calling it the Busy Forks. That's all right. That's all right, too. Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know, man. So, now, do you know who makes it?
Toyota.
Apparently, BYD makes it. That's what someone informed me last week.
Ah. Well, I'll tell you, make more sense because I thought Toyota 10 years ago was on the leading edge of electrifying cars, except for Tesla, of course. But this is just disappointing. They were so against EVs for so long, and then somehow they shot this thing out of their pie hole. And
right.
And
it's not like Toyota to release a half-baked car. The early Priuses did not have a bunch of problems. The BuzzForks does.
Is that a reflection on the... Is this just like horrible lighting in this car, right? For the pictures?
The red one?
On the interior. It looks like the sun is shining across the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's the sun shining across it.
Okay, what's going on with that center console?
Not a fan.
Is that like,
where they put the batteries?
It looks like some 80s gold leaf or something. I don't know.
Oh, no, that's a reflection of the trees.
Is it a reflection of the trees?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see down in the next picture. It's the nasty black piano trim.
Black.
Yeah,
the one that everybody wraps.
Yeah, the one that everybody hates on their Tesla 3s. The Model 3s.
Oh, Tesla has it? Then we'll use it.
Yeah.
You didn't let me finish the sentence.
Yeah, Tesla stopped using it.
Mhm.
Yeah, they stopped using it because if you looked at it funny, it got dirty.
Design, technology, and a drive that's just meh. One theory I read was that they're making it garbage on purpose so people will want to go back to ICE.
That doesn't make, I don't. That's just kind of a silly theory.
Cynical.
I wouldn't be surprised that the internet would say something like that, but it's still just. I don't. Yeah, that's just kind of silly. I'm not a fan of that dashboard though either. The I don't know. It's just kind of a little funky looking. But hey, you know what? What do I know? I haven't driven the car, and all the reviews suck, so it can't be just my opinion. Or maybe it is.
You know, BYD is doing really well in China, but then again, so are all electric cars.
Yeah, that's true. And they've had a huge head start since they've been around for so long.
So the plug-in market share in China, BYD has got 27.9% of it, way ahead of Tesla.
Yes, they are way ahead of Tesla.
31% of new cars in May were electric in China.
This is one of those misleading posts, though. You know why?
It includes hybrids.
Nope.
Why?
Tesla Model Y, 5,875.
Well, yes, but weren't they closed? Oh, this is January through May.
Now, well, it says top 20 plugins in China of May of 2022. There's something off on this.
No, because there was the factory closure, and then the first batch that was made were all exported.
That's what I'm talking about, though, is the export.
Oh, right. What's missing is that these are lumpy delivery sales, delivery figures.
Because 1 month out of each quarter, Tesla sends almost the entire load overseas or over China seas. Okay, we both know that. So they took the 1 month out of the 3 that Tesla does that because Tesla did not sell 5,800 Model Ys in May. For that factory put out, what are they putting out in a month there?
77,000 combined between 3 and Y.
Okay. So that would have had to have been because you don't even see the Model 3 on here, do you?
But I don't think Clean Technica is being dishonest. I think they're just going off the latest, most recently available figures.
Oh, do your research.
Well,
Not you.
no, we're helping with the research. We're adding context. That's why you guys are here. And the idea is that the headline, the overall headline, 31% market share is still great. That's still good news.
But what would it be if it was if that number was changed? Because
we'll find out next month.
Okay, BYD is it was 31,000 vehicles. Oh wait, actually, they've got several different models on here, so it would be higher. Be much higher.
BEV 5529.
Yeah, I know, but to me, it's kind of like, well, let's just take one Sunday out of the month that we know like these car companies are closed and saying they sold no cars. The smaller you go into detail like this, the worse your results are going to be. Garbage in, garbage out. So take a whole quarter.
Well, my problem is more that they're comparing pure battery electric car companies with plug-in hybrid companies, and to me, a plug-in hybrid is only kind of an EV. Count it as half if you want, but BYD 26,000 hybrids, 5,000 electric. It's pure electric.
Yeah. That's just another point that this article is missing, is you're counting plug-in hybrids. You literally could buy a plug-in hybrid and never use the plug-in part and just use it as a gas motor that occasionally recharges a couple of batteries that are in there. It's not an EV.
So Matt Hofsey pointed out that the Shanghai numbers, if they were trying to cherry pick to make Tesla look bad, April was only 10,700. That would have been a better month to try and make them look bad. Although the competition would have also looked pretty bad. But we've only got 20 minutes left, and we've got a lot to cover.
Oh, do we?
We do. Bloomberg Neff is going to say electric vehicles should be cheaper to buy on average than combustion vehicles about 5 years, even without subsidies. Do you think that's true?
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see that on the consumer side. I think we'll see it on the manufacturer side, and that's one of the things that they're talking about here. I think as the prices are of parts and components are more affordable, I think the manufacturers are just going to say, thank you very much, and they're going to put that money in their pocket.
There's no reason to make them cheaper than gas when they're already cheaper to operate and maintain. And I think some companies will go for the value approach and just start giving you more bang for your buck. And some companies will just keep the markup for themselves. But I don't think they'll be cheaper. I don't think there's a reason they need to. I think the incentives are already sufficient that they would just definitely not go below the price of a gas car.
Agreed.
But, normally, boy, before I had this channel, I'd be like, well, if Bloomberg says so, these guys are experts. But I've seen their analysis, and oof, I wouldn't take financial advice from them.
Yeah, you've got to understand on any article that you're reading, it could be anybody sitting in their house. Maybe 10 minutes graduated from some sort of writing school, correspondence classes, and they think that they know what they're talking about. They could be you, could be me, and you're taking advice from it. I just think it's more fun to call out the BS than to actually try and write one of these articles. Right? No?
It's they just want clicks.
Well, they do, and that's why they're gonna make these articles, and it's gonna say whatever they want it to say.
I know you're a big fan of dealers. Any big dealer news for the week?
I found an interesting article on a Mach-E forum. I was trying to look up to see whether or not they actually stopped producing the Mach-Es because of that recall that we talked about last week or the week before. So I was trying to see if they're actually producing them. And I found this article which confirmed that they are actually delivering them with the recall or without the recall. But this guy ordered, or his sister-in-law ordered a Mach-E ordered last November. And this is current as of just a couple of days ago. And when they got to the dealership for the paperwork, the dealership stuck on a $15,000 markup on top of the MSRP, which Ford put out all these things saying, we're not going to do this. If you order something directly from the factory, there's going to be no markup. It's not right. We're not going to do this. You tarnish the Ford name, and it's a bad thing. So this person's getting hit with a $15,000 markup. They don't know what to do. They went to the Mach-E forums looking for help, and people have referred them to different people in Ford to try and get this resolved. But apparently this thread goes on for quite a while, and people are talking about how different dealerships are doing it and how to avoid it. But yeah, the shenanigans are still going on.
Frustrating and ridiculous. What was that you'd mentioned about the recalls?
Recalls? Oh yeah. So the F-150 Lightning had what I call a minor, oh really, recall. It's just for a tire pressure warning glitch on certain size tires. But of course, somehow this becomes an article that has to be put up on CNET. Honestly, come on. I think most of us are old enough to remember the time where we had to take a little stick, put it in the valve stem, and check our tire pressure. We didn't get a little warning light to tell us that, you know what, my gas tank is empty because that light keeps going on. I drive the car for like 300 miles, and then I get this light on my dashboard. It's like a shape of a fuel pump.
Weird.
It tells me I got to put fuel in it. So apparently there's a default in that also, so that needs to be recalled. But it can't. Is that worthy of a recall?
Well, it's worthy of a recall. Is it worthy of a long article? No.
No. It's like, okay,
But,
fix it.
you know, yeah, recalls became news because these guys decided when it came to Tesla that all recalls are news. So, and you know what? Here we are talking about it. So,
Yeah, but again, we're talking about how this article is a waste of space. The internet, literally.
the internet is unlimited, and this is still a poor use of the space.
That's kind of the point. We've got unlimited space, and still it is wasting it. But
Do you know? Yeah. Go on.
no, let's hear your segue because I really didn't have one.
I didn't have a good segue. Towards the end, we kind of just lump them together. Uber drivers are liking the Teslas. Now, when I saw this shared on Twitter or somewhere else, they said, see, Hertz has already got 15,000 delivered. That's not what I'm not seeing that in this article. I'm seeing that 15,000 Uber drivers have signed up to rent Teslas through its partnership. I think it's a great idea. I don't see how it's profitable. Did you look at this? They're only charging $300 a week to rent the Tesla.
Really?
And you know how many miles are going to be put on it?
And they take it home with them?
Yeah, you keep it for the week, don't you?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it would make more sense to me if you had to bring it back at the end of the shift.
Yeah, but then you've just turned into a cab company.
Yes. So it's pretty wild. I don't know where. Maybe Uber is chipping in on that.
Oh,
Maybe-
I'm looking through this
maybe-
article trying to find this information, and I could not find it because it's on the wrong article. I'm like going through this whole thing. Okay, all right, I'm ready to talk about this now.
Oh, you're on the wrong one.
I was on the wrong article, just looking for anything that I read before, and I couldn't find it. Now I found it. So
Okay. So, 15,000. If anyone knows of a source that says Hertz is... Now, here's one I was doing some math on today. How much is the deposit fee on a Tesla?
$250.
And how many did Hertz decide to buy?
100,000, and then didn't they order more after?
Yes. Or they said they were going to order. Did they actually put down, $250 million in deposits?
Is that 250 million?
Is it?
I don't think so.
250,000? No. Somebody double check my math. Get me in the comments. Did they actually put down that kind of money? What would that be, 25 million? Or did they goof up and have to now deal with the $5,000 price increase? That would suck. If they didn't put the money, if they didn't actually create the orders.
That's
2.5 million. Thank you, MD Hofsey. So 2.5 million. That's not as painful to put down. I just did that in my head.
yeah, that
Who is
was.
this saying 25 million?
You said 250 million.
Yeah, I definitely was wrong. But the that'd be 2,500. So it's 25 million. That's a lot of money to put down for cars you're not getting right away. So,
But in
if
the
they didn't.
Yeah.
If they didn't. Oh, the pain. I hope they didn't actually make them sit down and place 100,000 orders on the website, because that would be several people's full-time job for quite some time.
I would totally
some point-
lose track. What number are you on? I don't.
And at some point, the card's going to decline. Because I know this is a corporate Amex and all that, but this is looking a little fishy. This has got to be 25 million. So I hope that the 25 million that they locked it in for their sake, as an investor, I hope they didn't. So, yeah, so that's all the news we got this week.
Yeah, of
So
course.
thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Bye, JJ.
Nikola Tre is at one of the world's largest ports, Port Houston. As Sunburst Truck Lines partners with the port, to reach its goal
Oh,
of becoming
crap.
carbon neutral.
Hold on a sec. I just lost my screen. Sorry.
You know, we do simulcast these as nobody else on the internet simultaneously at Bear's Workshop and
My fingers are getting a little old, and
I wouldn't say a little. Oh, so
6
yeah,
inches.
they're working at the Port of Houston, and you can see it's a branded truck. This is not a demo. This is a customer.
Are we able to see whose name's on the side of that one? I think
It's in the tweet. Sunburst Truck Lines.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay, you can see it now if you expand out the picture. So there is another example of a Nikola tray driving around. And were there any more?
I don't think so. I think that was the only one.
Oh, yeah, maybe you'd be like, not Nico. This company still exists? No. Why don't you move along? It's hilarious.
The Port of Baltimore is excited to be part of the testing of the Nikola Motor all-electric truck.
And
now, I don't know if this one is actually their property or if it's in testing. One of the pictures, yeah, that's not them. So this could be a test model. This could be neat. So
let's see if we can get a different angle on this truck, because I know I'm going to go with my first impression is a test model. It has an Arizona plate on it.
There you go.
And let me see the side of it. Wait a minute. There's
the badging looks like a magnet.
A huge.
I just muted this and it just unmuted itself. It does have Road 1 on the side of it, where the ones that are Nikola test trucks usually have the Nikola USDOT on it. But I think once they put them out there, they put Road 1. I'm saying this is a test truck just because it has the Arizona plate on it. So that's...
Yeah. And that makes sense. But still, out and about. Do you have one last piece of Nikola to cover?
Yes, we do. In case you haven't heard, vote, 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 and vote. Tomorrow is the day of the Stockholders Meeting starting at 9 a.m. I may or may not be available to rebroadcast that. I'm going to try to, but I'm starting to see a scheduling conflict and I may not be able to. But they're going to count the votes and announce tomorrow whether or not the stock dilution is going to go through to raise more money to keep the company going for longer. The money is needed not for today, not for tomorrow, not for next month or next quarter, but they have enough money right now for about a year, but they want to have access to money down the line, and that's what this is for. Trevor Milton voted no, which means everyone else votes yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what percentage of the company does he still own?
10%.
That's not that bad.
He will lose about a third if they dilute the stock, I believe.
But if they don't,
more.
But if they don't, he could lose everything.
Yeah, he could, but crash and burn. Let it crash and burn. So
yeah, he's an odd duck, is what I sometimes say when I don't wish to express my more candid feelings.
Well, don't be shy. Okay.
He's not worth it.
Be shy.
All
right.
So
one last one. We got one last one. We can't forget about it like we did. This would be the one that I accidentally got on before. The cost of owning an electric bus fleet is saving money over fuel costs, which is kind of obvious. I didn't think it would go any other direction, though some people need to actually see it with their eyes. But the cost of fuel has decreased by 51%.
Yeah. It's decreased to 51%. But yes, half either way. It is not surprising, but it's a ton of actual money, though. Because you got to figure buses are on the road constantly, 12 to 14 hours a day, and a diesel bus does not get great fuel economy. So the savings is massive.
Well, you know what gets great diesel fuel economy?
No.
Apparently Hyundais do. Well, or at least
It
you
was
think
pointed
they
out
did.
on my chat that it's, even though Hertz is paying full price, it's very likely that they were still able to just call up and say, "Can we just send you a purchase order with a wire transfer?" Because, come on.
Yeah, but where did they get the phone number? That's the problem. You know they're going to get some guy who goes, nope, sorry, I can't do that. Can I speak to your supervisor? I want to place an order for 100,000. Let me see if he's available. I'm sorry, I'm the supervisor now. He left, so I'm in charge. No, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We no exceptions.
If you have to pay full price, go into a showroom and tell him to order it for you. You know what his numbers are going to look like?
Oh, he may or may not be grateful.
Yeah. 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 So the second top salesman of the month sold 26 cars, and number one sold 100,000.
What's wrong with
Here's
you,
your
number
toast.
two? If you're not first, you're last.
Right. Get a set of steak knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of indoor bus depots will be glad to not breathe the fumes in there.
I always hated getting behind them when I lived in a big city, and
Yeah.
they just take off from the line like, you know.
Yeah, brutal.
So,
And the noise.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, European cities full of electric trams, very quiet. Yeah. Buy one car, then buy the rest using the referral program. I love that.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, we've got millions of supercharger miles.
Like, could you imagine if they still had the Roadster referral program?
Yeah. 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 That would get you all of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we have just a couple minutes left. I do want to say a quick thanks to my Patreons, as always, for their generous support. Support my channel, support Bear's channel, support both of us, you know? You guys are here for the journey. You love us. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. And now that Brian is monetized, feel free to drop a super chat on him. I've been monetized since I was about 2 years old, so I'm good. I'm good. But I do want to thank my Patreons for your support, and got some good support this morning on our previous live stream. I thank that for the people donating to my AC fund. We're still running with it. It's I knocked a kink out of it, but it's still not working too good. So I'm not asking for money, but
don't kink shame your AC.
No, oh my God, the thing's not even that old, but I pretty much have had it on for so long. But it's getting replaced the next day or two. It's got to. Well, if I have time, because tomorrow I've got a new car coming in, so I'm excited.
What?
Yeah.
That's so unlike you.
No. Yeah, this is kind of a new thing for me. This is my first new car in like 6 or 7 years. So, oh, I'm sorry. Did I say years? I meant days. But yeah, a Hyundai Ioniq 5. No, that's wrong. Wrong car. Polestar. Polestar 2 coming in tomorrow. 4 o'clock. They're delivering it right to my house, which is nice. I like that. Paperwork and everything. I'm going to sign it on the hood of the car. And that is service that I would prefer, as opposed to wheeling, dealing, fighting, spanking, punching, slapping, and all the other stuff that goes on at a regular dealership.
And then having it shipped from another state to avoid it.
Yeah, that's how I'm getting my Ioniq 5, is getting it shipped from another state, which I'm still paying for some dealer BS, but not the additional dealer markup. At least I'm getting like window tint or something out of it. Anyway, that's what's going on. So maybe we'll get a video up in the next day or two showing the Polestar 2 if you guys are interested. So, like I said, I thank all my Patrons. My next live stream is going to be Thursday, and yours is Friday, right?
Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific for me.
All right. Mine will be on the Lucid factory flyover. So that's what I got going on for you guys.
And his live streams of the factories get a lot of visitors, and it's a lot of fun to hang out in those chats. So I do it whenever I get a chance, which is not that all that often.
All right. You got anything else?
That's it. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you, Bear, for yours.
Thanks, guys. Bye
And
bye.
I will see you next week. I always give it a few extra seconds because it's too easy to cut it off.